I don't believe I have to remind you that this mission is top secret. Everything that you do will be rejected. Many of our best men have been on this mission before. We've sent in countless swabs, and we have uncovered massive levels of intel. But all those that we have caught, their mouths are shut tighter than Fort Knox. Every time we have a good lead, we come up short and empty-handed. This time, however, we're sending you undercover. You're gonna join them, become one of them, watch them, listen to them, and hopefully not be buried by them. We've lost a lot of the best boys we've got. We've lost countless taxpayers' dollars. You cannot become another casualty. Backroom deals, scumbags. We don't know what they're capable of, but we think we know what you're capable of. So be patient and listen. They're out there somewhere. They're out there.
Welcome, one and all in one. At least one person. That might just be Sage watching the stream. Welcome to the Trade and Raid podcast. I am your host, Lord Glarp, also Mike. You can call me Mike if you want to. I feel like we've built a bit of a relationship here that we don't have to be so formal. And it's episode number 11 with me, my favorite disembodied voice, Sage. Say
Hello,
hi.
everyone.
Oh, see, last time I didn't say hi, Sage, and then this time I was going to say hi, Sage. Oh, boy. It is, what is it, Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, the 19th. And believe it or not, things have happened in the past 48 hours. Time has passed and stuff has happened. As you can see, we are still in the desert in an undisclosed location outside a, what's it called? Red Rocket? Yeah, Red Rocket gas station. Rocket. And, you know, we got a nice little breeze going on. It's a nice sunny morning. Little bit of breeze from the grass here right next to me. Yeah, this is nice. We've been out here for quite a while, so it's you know, probably time to switch spots here pretty soon. What do you think, Sage?
Relocate. They're onto us.
They're onto us. Here, there's some infiltrators in chat.
Tracking us down.
I am
pinpointing our location.
I am very excited to get like 200 episodes in and have the opening video make no sense to anybody new. But people who go back and watch the videos, they're like, oh. My dream is that someday some YouTuber and fan will like scrape all of the footage and they will just like make a breakdown of it or something. That's the real dream. Gotta earn it though. Gotta earn it.
Yeah. The slow burn earn.
All right. I kind of wanted to check something real quick. Hopefully it doesn't play while I'm trying to check it. Yeah. Views are up quite a bit. Yeah, there we go. Views are up pretty good. Something kind of interesting I wanted to just throw out there is when I played the password game, I posted a video about it 2 weeks ago, got about 900 views. The bear fucking the dude on Baldur's Gate 3 got
Out of context.
got close to 1,000 views. You sick bastards. And then 1 day ago, so about a little less than 24 hours ago, I posted the "Is Sriracha Going Extinct" segment. That's been getting 3 views per hour consistently, so it's up to 120 views. And the collaboration between Lycoris Recoil, the anime, and the Pizza Hut, that's been up for 17 hours, and it has been viewed 3 times, and I'm pretty sure I'm one of those.
That's so bizarre.
I'm telling to me, this further proves that no one knows what this anime is. How they're getting this collaboration is beyond me.
Like
now,
one marketing guy at wait, what was it? Was it Domino's? Pizza
Hut.
Was it? It was Pizza Hut. Yeah. Well, so like one marketing guy in Pizza Hut Japan must be a major fan of that like niche anime. And it's just like
that's what I'm thinking. He's like, okay, so if I get this deal, I get 1 manila envelope and an acrylic standee. If I play my cards right. And one of the cardboard cutouts that was meant to go to a Pizza Hut but ended up in my apartment. Honestly, I say it in a joking way, but probably not a bad way to get some swag. If that's what you're doing, if that's your job anyway.
Yeah, you get some free shit out of it, I suppose.
And you could be like, we need to get prototypes. So you get a couple prototypes and you take those home and you're like, oh yeah, I have prototypes of something. I mean, the secondary market for something that was a prototype, I mean, that in and of itself could be worth quite a bit. Probably more than the real thing. Interesting. Perhaps we're on to someone. Did you watch the video? I'm trying to figure out who these other 2 people that watched this are.
I have not watched any of the recent clips. They did pop up on my thing saying they got posted, but I have not gone and rewatched them.
So you've seen the thumbnails?
I got the notification. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen the thumbnails.
I feel like my thumbnail game is getting pretty good. I think I'm starting to get the hang of the thumbnail.
It's wild to me, like just listening to some other creators when they talk about like how they game YouTube, like try to get views and stuff, like the sub things that I don't even know what to say, like the meta for gaming YouTube. It's like you gotta design the thumbnails just right, and then they do like A/B testing for like the actual titles of the videos, and that's actually something that I despise. It grinds my gears when I watch a video and then like maybe like a couple hours later I refresh and I'm scrolling back through and like the same video pops up but it has a different title and I'm like, is it Berenstain Bears or Bernstein Bears? I fucking Mandela effect. Just
right.
Like Jesus.
Who does it? Hassan. Every now and then when I go to watch a Hassan video, I'll click on it and it'll be a clip. I'll watch the clip and then I'll click on a different Hassan video and it's the way he does it is like it's like the 5 minutes prior to the clip I just watched plus the clip I just watched. So the first 5 minutes of it sounds like it's a different video. And then I get caught up and I'll be like kind of, I second screen everything. So I'll be like doing some work or something and I'll be like, gosh, this sounds familiar after I get like 5 minutes in. And Mr. Beast pointed out, he said that if you can get people to watch like the first 3 minutes of a video, you can basically do whatever you want after that. And I feel like he took that to a level that's like not cool, not too chill. I have been tricked into listening to the same video like 3 times.
Yeah, and like if you don't like, okay, YouTube, if you're signed into the same YouTube account, it does kind of keep track, so you can tell if you watched a video. You know, it'll show the little bar on the very bottom, like you stopped watching when there was like a minute left or something like that. So you can kind of. But if you're not paying attention, yeah, it's pretty easy to click on one where you're like, oh, did they change the thumbnail and you didn't recognize? Did they change the title? Both, you know, and so you're like, oh, that's interesting, and you click on it and you're like, wait a minute.
Right. Nah, marketing just ruins everything. I know, so I'm a marketer. It's my job to just ruin people's days. What's that? You were going to a website to go look at some glasses? Let me throw 15 ads in your face, try to get you to buy things you didn't want, give you some pop-ups, you know, look at like your search history, use Google Analytics to figure out your phone proximity to other people around you so I can push ads to them through your phone because you use your phone more than they do and you have more purchasing power than they do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Us digital marketers, we do some fucked up stuff. Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Women are like 60% more likely to make an online purchase than men are. But I think it's 35 to 40, like 8-year-old women are more likely to make a purchase on behalf of their spouse than their spouse is to make for themselves. So positional tracking would dictate that I could push ads to these 35 to 48-year-old women that is not actually based on a marketing profile for them, but by the phone that is in proximity to their phone the most and that person's profile.
You know, from personal experience and like I do some online shopping, but honestly, most of the time it's like it's my wife. She's like, she'll ask anything like, do you want anything from Amazon? And I'll take a quick look and like, I don't think I need anything. So that tracks. And, you know, it sounds like, if I had to put it to an analogy, it sounds like the effectiveness of the marketing, like with women, is like a shotgun, but with men it's like a sniper rifle.
It's true.
Because when I do like see an ad that really resonates with me, I'm like, oh, I know like at least 2 or 3 people who this product would actually be really good for, and if I actually recommend it to them, it's like a guaranteed sale. Yes. So like, and I did that. Like I got an ad for a hygiene product, and I was like, actually, that's really cool. And I hit up a friend and I'm like, hey, I know you were having this problem. I know this is a little expensive, but I got an ad for it and I thought it was neat. What do you know? I thought I'd at least show it to you. And I'm like, I think word of mouth advertising is the only somewhat moral, like ethical
It is
type of advertising.
And sometimes, I mean, I've bought products based on what YouTubers have endorsed. I've seen YouTubers be like, hey, you know what? I use this thing. They're sponsoring me. I think it's kind of cool. If you like it, use my code. Like, not pushing it very hard.
Yeah, definitely. And if you get a free like 10% off, right?
Yeah, usually you get a good discount. I bought a Ridge wallet because it's got the is it called RF plating or whatever? Yeah. Like signals bounce off of it. And I've always wanted to try one of those like click out wallets where it clicks your cards out, trying to get away from like a standard wallet. Because I actually like to keep my wallet in my front pocket, not my back pocket. So it's smaller. It's got more of like a credit card profile. But I had seen them before and I was thinking about it, but then one of my favorite YouTubers was like, yeah, I'm being sponsored by Ridge Wallet. This is what it is. I have one. He held it up and he's like, I use it. I like it. He's like, it doesn't do anything a regular wallet doesn't do. He's like, but I like the way it does it. I was like, you know what, man? You got me. Sold. You, sir, just got a sale. Because, like, you know, that whole, like, it doesn't really do anything, like, special, but...
And to me, it's fine. And I've seen tons of ads for Ridge Wallet, and it is kind of tempting, honestly. But, like, with a wallet, if you buy a crappy, $10 Walmart wallet, like that thing's only going to last you 2 or 3 years anyway, right?
Right.
And then you're going to either buy another one, or you're going to look at it and be like, I've been hearing about this for a while. My old wallet is junk now, is torn open or whatever. I need a new one. I might as well give this a try, because it's low stakes, right? Is what that kind of thing is too. It's like if you don't like a Ridge wallet, what are they? $40, $50? They're a little on the expensive side, I know, but
I think mine was around 50 with like the discount
50?
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Well, I have done quite a bit of international travel, and I like to save up for a trip, and that's always something that's made me like nervous. Being in foreign country is getting my shit scanned, and like I'm not worried about, I have protection on my bank account and stuff like that, so I'm not worried about the money missing, but I would have to cancel that card, and I'm not in the US when I do it. You know what I mean? That's the scary part.
Factor. Yeah.
The scary part is like I'll just not have money for maybe 2-3 weeks in a foreign country. Not good. Not good
at all.
Because you're basically like, I have no money till I get home. And then you got to like contact your bank. Your bank's got to wire to a foreign bank. You got foreign bank charges. You got to go pick up your money. Hopefully they actually give it to you.
Just use Bitcoin.
Oh yeah. That's what you get for not having NFTs, you idiot.
You dope.
What a
You
dumbass.
don't trade in monkey PNGs? Tisk. You deserve to be poor.
I heard the saddest thing about NFTs and cryptocurrencies. This dude like a month ago, it's important to let you know that it was a month ago. He dropped like 20 grand into like the crypto market and the NFT market, right? He is wealthy enough that is not going to make or break him, but he is not so wealthy that that's not a significant amount of money.
Right.
Just to put it in perspective, not a billionaire or nothing. I think he said like his total savings was less than 100 grand, and he dropped 20 of it in that, right? So, and as you all should know by now, the NFTs are dumb, and cryptocurrencies are currently not doing very well. They haven't been doing very well. At least last I checked, they're not doing well.
As an investment, no, I would say not.
And his whole thing was he got ripped apart by like his nephew or something like that, who was like, you're an idiot, you're dumbass, and all this stuff. And he was like, he's not like an old guy, not really, but he was like, I wish I could remember the way he worded it. He was like, man, he's like, I just know my parents, they didn't want to get credit cards, and they're holding people up at the line, and they're trying to write out checks, and, they can barely, you can't barely read anything they write. So they were like writing cashier's checks and stuff like that, like up to now trying to do that. Not cashier's checks, but just checks, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and they don't know how to use the internet, and they need help every time they open their phone. And he's like, I just didn't want to be like that, So, so he didn't even get it as like an investment thing. He got it because he thought it was like the new credit card, and he didn't want to feel old.
Man, I feel bad for him in that case.
Yeah, that's why I was. That's why I was saying, I'm like, dude, I'm like, to be young enough that like you understood the credit card thing and the debit card thing, and you got into like cell phones and internet, but to be old enough that you don't quite understand what a crypto is and what an NFT is.
Well, I think it's more of the fear of it, because even if he kind of knew or had, it's almost like the fear of missing out, but not as
it's
the fear of missing out. Yeah, it's a socially thing almost, because NFTs infested the social consciousness.
Oh yeah,
for like
hard,
a solid like really hardcore for like a solid 6 months, and it was still pretty high up there like for about a year. And it's just, oh man, not like I had my grandpa asking me about crypto and stuff, and I'm like, it's really risky.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not going to tell you no, but it's a thing.
And it was like, as I was reading it, I'm like, whatever. This person made a bad investment decision. It's on them. Like, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for that. But then at the end, he's like, oh, I just didn't want to be behind the times. I don't want to slow anyone up at checkout. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's
my heart.
Because that's more relatable. Like, I've dealt with a lot of people like that where they're just like, I don't understand how these things work. And I'm like, I really keep my fingers crossed that I will be like mentally spry for the majority of my years, and that I will whatever crazy shit is around, when I'm like, if I'm 70 or 80 years old, that I'll just be like, yep, I get it. I'll stick my finger in the one hole and my butt
Right.
cheek in the other, and boom, there you go. $300 for a McDonald's sandwich.
That'll be 45 fromples. Universal currency.
Just something.
We trade in data gems now. They're called fromps. Okay.
And one personal secret for the data miners.
And one person. Yeah. If you trade us a secret, we'll give you 50% off. Ooh. What a weird thing.
Right.
I like it though.
All right. Shall we get this show on the road?
We finally did it. We did the beginning burn. We did it. I'm excited. What are we starting with? Midweek updates. New subject, or not new subject, new segment. I've been coming up with a lot of good segments, I think. Because I've noticed sometimes there's stuff I want to just talk about or mention, but it's not enough to fill a whole segment,
Yeah, each thing on its own, yeah.
That's kind of where the Freaky Friday thing came from, was like there's a lot of this like random, really weird off the wall news. And I think having a segment for that at the end of the week where I can kind of accumulate the week's worth of is kind of neat. But I was thinking Wednesdays, it's nice to catch up on some of the stuff we've talked about previously, such as the Microsoft Blizzard deal. Microsoft stopped it. They stopped it. Did you hear about this?
No, actually, I did not.
They want the UK approval. They do not want to go through with it unless they have the UK approval. They had a way to get around it. I'm not going to pull up an article or anything. It's very, very light, very, very dry news, but it's very interesting to me because they did have an opening to just kind of, at least to an American market, sign their paperwork and go. Sony relented. I
did see that.
They accepted the deal. The Call of Duty
Basically non-exclusivity.
Non-exclusivity. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And so between Sony backing out, I think they feel as though they can just win over the UK. And I think if they have the US market and the UK market on lockdown, I think the rest of the world will just kind of follow suit.
And they'll be satisfied for a little bit.
Yeah, because what is it? You need the American market, you need the UK market, and you need the Chinese market. Like those are like, you must have those three markets as far as gaming goes.
Yeah, if you want to be a top dog. Yeah.
So I think it makes sense for them to kind of. It's a little dangerous to prolong it because that gives more people to file appeals, but
they're playing defense basically. They're
in a good spot.
Safe. Yeah.
That last court case they did was such a shit show that, I mean, it was embarrassing, fucking embarrassing. The defense on that was the prosecution, or whatever you want to call it, was an absolute joke. I can't believe they just like died on the hill that whoever controls Call of Duty controls the universe was not the play. That was not the play at all. Would you like me to share a screen with you?
Sure.
Alrighty. So yeah, Wednesday I think is a good day to kind of go back and revisit stuff. Now we also have midweek. I almost called it midweek madness, but I'm like, I don't. There's no reason to call it that. I just wanted to.
It's not that mad. Like it's alliteration, but it's the wrong energy, the wrong vibe.
Right. Midweek madness. Neopets. Yeah, it's not that serious.
It's not Jim Cramer.
So my hope is some of these articles are still kind of works in progress. So I was hoping some of them got updated. What was the one? There was one I was really hoping to get updated, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. I think it was the UK games industry loot box thing. I didn't really go over the topics we're going to talk about. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll get there. You know, we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna start going, and we'll get there eventually. So, Sage, did you play Neopets back in the day?
I actually did not. I saw a lot of the stuff, and I was always interested, but I never actually did.
I played the fuck out of Neopets. When everyone else was playing RuneScape, I was playing Neopets like a plebeian. I even remember what the name of the creature was. I had a griffin, a green looking, oh my goodness, a griffin looking creature that was green called an Eerie. And I even tried to see if I could get into my old account, but it's associated with an email that I could not even begin to imagine what the login information is. Neopets was always interesting. It was kind of like Pokemon meets Newgrounds. It just had a bunch of games, and those games accumulated points, and those points turned into a currency, and that currency you used in your Pokemon style game. Super ahead of its time, I think. You were also bombarded with ads, and as a kid, I didn't care. So, yeah, Neopets, right. The beloved virtual pet game from the 2000s that featured flash games and a giant omelet, is under new management. Oh yeah, the omelet in the desert. And they're looking to reinvigorate the world of Neopia. On July 18th, the newly formed World of Neopia Inc. published a lengthy blog post under the byline The Neopets Team, detailing the future of the franchise from the abandonment of metaverse and NFT plans to the updating of the famously broken Flash game. Whew. Yeah, I remember Neopets they were heading the way of the NFT. They were getting close. I don't know about this video. I mean it's Neopets, so it should be fine, right? Let me 1999, man.
I remember the PS2 game, yeah.
Champions of Murdell, I remember that. Han and the Ice Caves, that was cool. That was a whole ass region they updated or made a thing for. They had these really cool games too, this ice slidey game. Darkness Fairy, I don't remember this.
I never played it, but I remember reading about it in like one of the old school like Game Informer or whatever. One of the old video game magazines I had, they did an article on it, and I'm like, if I had a PS2, I get it, but I didn't have a PS2 back then, I don't think.
The Altador plot, if I remember correctly, was like a Knights of the Round Table style thing. Return of Dr. Sloth, remember that? It had like the worst games ever, and it had the worst skins ever. I did not like the space stuff, and the stupid flying saucer thing flew over the map. It was not good. Negs were always cool, and I think by 2015 I was not touching it anymore, so the rest of this is going to be unbeknownst to me. Not functioning, incorrect scoring, economy, inflation. Yeah, the inflation in the game was ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's been true for so many like long running online games. Like RuneScape has had ridiculous inflation. EVE Online is in a better spot, but they had to deal with it too. There's lots of stuff at World of Warcraft, obviously.
Hi,
Obviously,
this is
yeah.
Willow. And this is Ivy, and we run the Nosy Neopians podcast.
We know that Neopets has been in kind of a weird place the last few years. Neopets is so important.
Those are like the most hideous characters I have ever seen. What the fuck, man? Whoever did this did y'all a disservice. I don't know what you look like in real life, but it cannot be this bad.
I'm sure they're lovely people.
I mean, yeah, I don't. They didn't do good. Should have hired a VTuber artist.
That's why we are so excited to announce that the Neopets team is now under new leadership.
What does that mean?
I mean, most of these look. Yeah. Some of these look better.
It's like they hired a small team of caricature artists.
Well, we will be bringing you
and they were like
involvement,
new
plot, a new unified homepage where you can access everything Neopets, new user experiences.
Wait.
So are they keeping it browser based?
And did you say a new plot?
Yeah, Neopets will have much stronger community involvement with regular team AMAs, a new brand ambassador program, and full transparency on our podcast, Nosy Neopians.
Ooh, that's us.
We are also going to launch a new unified website with all of our content in one location.
That's so cool, but seriously, what about the plot?
We also have Neopets Island Builders being rebuilt and relaunched as an episodic adventure.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what they've changed. I hear that
that 3D stuff looks really funky.
Out later this year.
And my favorite game, Neopets Fairies Hope, is now directly under control of the Neopets team. We're so excited to keep
It's weird to see everything in 3D.
Yes, I am shamelessly addicted to racking up those combos.
We are also thrilled to be releasing World of Neopets on mobile next year. For fans who have ever wondered what it's like to travel through Neopia in an immersive 3D environment while exploring, questing, and interacting with NPCs and players, this is the game for you. And of course, we will be...
Is that Pokemon Go, but for Neopets? It's kind of what it sounded like to me.
Bringing back our Flash games to Neopets.com.
Ice caves!
Yeah, so it's super important for us to bring back features that haven't
Extreme
been
Herder was awesome.
For a very long time. We've been listening really closely to the Neopets community, and we hear you.
Where's the Negtail?
Focus on...
Oh, there it is. There it is. America Chase 2. Best game on Neopets. I don't give a fuck what they've made since in the past 20 years. I don't give a fuck. That game was the best. So good, man. Fuck, that was a good game. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, if they're all Flash based, I wonder what they're actually gonna do since Flash is deprecated. Is it gonna run in like a browser based Flash emulator, or?
I don't know. It was very
recode them.
Very 3D. It sounds like they're starting fresh. It kind of sounds like a reset, like a hard reset. I know that they raised, I mean, we'll probably see it in the article, but I know they raised like $4 million to re-breathe life into it. So
that's a chunk of change.
As long as the new owner isn't getting paid $3 million a year in salary, it will probably be pretty good. Bobby Kotick, fucking bastard.
On improving the features that make Neopets, well, Neopets. So we will continue to modernize the site, convert pages, fix bugs, and make Neopets more mobile friendly.
And now, the moment you've been waiting
for.
The plot. Is it the plot?
Please join us in our ongoing Neocash giveaway on Gleam.
Neocash giveaway. There you go, guys.
Neocash to
Scan
2 million.
Scan the QR code and get your 2 million NCs. Scan.
It's a lot of zeros.
Yeah. I like how they're like, inflation's a problem. Anyway, here's $2 million for anyone who wants it. It might be like total of 2 million, maybe. Possibly, potentially. As long as it's not like you have to go to a physical location and spend money to buy an entire pizza, and then 5 weeks later you may be one of 10 people who gets $13.95.
Did Neopets have like physical cards you could buy at like a card shop or a comic shop or something like that, or was it all just digital?
No, they had physical stuff. They had plushies. I remember when I was a little kid, I saw Neopets plushies in stores.
Oh, okay.
So I think they've done like cereal deals and things like that too.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm
That's
remembering.
great, but like, really, what about the plot?
I don't know, Ivy. The script doesn't say anything about the plot. That's all it says. Whoa! Wow, it seems like there's a
The
lot
void
going on with Neopets.
within.
Yeah, Willow. Some may even call it a new era for Neopets.
Well, whatever you call it,
Huh.
I'm hyped, and we hope that all the fans out there are too.
And as always,
We'll see you in Neopia.
Cool. Oh yeah, right there. Future of Neopets. Thanks to over $4 million in funding secured from investors, TNT wrote that for the first time in over a decade, the team is equipped to make meaningful changes in pursuit of a Neopia renaissance. Those changes include finding a fix for the Adobe Flash problem, an EOL of Flash in December 2022 or 2020 effectively orphaned hundreds of thousands of Flash-based games. We have begun exploring the use of Ruffle, a Flash player emulator, good call, Sage, to restore the issues caused by the end of Flash in hopes of speeding up the process of bringing functionality back to our beloved games, the blog post read.
Yeah, the death of Flash. I mean, we were just talking last time about, like old software and the historical significance of it, and the death of Flash is a huge deal there too.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Flash games. Yeah, I never thought about Flash games as far as conservation goes. But fixing Flash-based games isn't all the team plans to do. It also took a long, hard look at community feedback on Neopets Metaverse and NFTs, two recent initiatives which Neopets fans almost uniformly hated. Wonder why. It quickly became clear that the game just didn't line up with everything that made Neopets Neopets. Instead, the team is abandoning that venture, thank God, and focusing instead on an upcoming mobile game called World of Neopets, a social life simulation game in which you live your ideal Neopia life from the perspective of a Neopet.
It's just gonna raise another generation of furries, whatever.
In the upcoming game, which doesn't have a release date yet, you'll be able to decorate a home, play minigames, collect Neopets, and explore iconic Neopian lands in 3D. The devs promise the world Neopets will not just be a rebranding of the mangled Neopets metaverse. There are no NFTs in World of Neopets, and the game is not built on a crypto model. Let's see, become brand ambassadors. What does that mean? What's a brand ambassador? That's like you talk about it a lot and they pay you money?
Or they just give you free shit in game.
All right, so what I'm thinking is what we need to do is we need to make a Neopet for the Trade and Raid podcast. And we'll raise it together as a community. We'll check in on them every now and then. Actually, I have something else we're going to be doing as a community, and I'm pretty excited about it. We'll get to that some other day. The beloved Classic Neopets site will remain, with TNT promising great things on the horizon for Classic site that started it all. Ooh. They're going to do the RuneScape Classic thing. And a brand new site will launch on July 20th. Oh, tomorrow. As a one-stop shop for all brand announcements, links to our different games, products, repository for Neopets articles, related links, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so they're consolidating like their news stuff, basically.
Okay. The new era of Neopets promised by the team is possible thanks in large part to the brand no longer falling under the management of Jumpstart Games, which the team said struggled to find success for Neopets before shutting down on June 30th of this year. Okay. Neopets hacker steals 69 million accounts and tries to sell them for Bitcoin. Glorious. So it's being led by Dominic Law, described as a Neopets superfan, who pushed Jumpstart Games, a parent company, NetDragon, to keep the brand alive in the wake of Jumpstart shutdown. A management buyout deal was struck and allowed the two Neopets teams to combine forces and become an independent company that is free from corporate baggage that existed in the past. Weirdly, though, Law's most recent job title on LinkedIn is Chief Metaverse Officer at Neopets. I myself am ready for Neopets' triumphant return. Yeah, neat. So if you're nostalgic for Neopets, it sounds like tomorrow is the day that they're kind of getting the ball rolling. And they said the new game will be out sometime early next year. I imagine they're going to make you get a new Neopet and stuff. I don't think anything's going to cross over. But that's good, starting fresh servers. Thank you, Kotaku, for all this stuff. They're ready. You good, Sage? You got anything to say on that, or you?
Well, I was never really into Neopets, so I don't really have a lot to add. But it definitely seeing games that are not using NFTs and crypto is a very good thing.
It's a net win for everybody.
Yep.
All right, so here's a fun one, another fun one. Unofficial GTA San Andreas restaurant shut down by lawyers. A real-world Cluckin' Bell and Burger Shot are no longer happening after the people involved received a cease and desist. Absolutely wonderful. Cluckin' Bell. That's good. Let's see here. 2 unofficial pop-up restaurants based on fast food chains that have appeared in the past Grand Theft Auto games were planned to open next week in San Diego, just in time for Comic-Con. However, that reportedly wouldn't be happening anymore after Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Rockstar Games, sent the company behind the restaurants a cease and desist. In 2004's open-world blockbuster Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, players can visit a few different fast food joints that are directly inspired by real-world brands, including Cluckin' Bell, a parody of KFC and Taco Bell, and Burger Shot, a parody of Burger King. These same parody eateries would later appear in GTA games, including Grand Theft Auto 5. However, last year, one of these fake in-game chains, Cluckin' Bell, became temporarily real when a pop-up version appeared near the San Diego Comic-Con convention. People made videos of the place and its uniforms, decorations, signs, and menus, all of which were directly inspired by the GTA games. And none of this was officially approved by or connected to Take-Two Interactive or Rockstar Games. And this year, the same people behind the fake fast food location were planning on doing it again, and even adding a second GTA-themed pop-up eatery too. But now those plans are dead after Take-Two's lawyers reportedly got involved. I don't know, is this, okay, this is just the regular Cluckin' Bell commercial from the game, I think.
What happens when you take a whole chicken, pack it full of mashed potatoes, top it full of gravy, insert some corn,
Nice.
then deep fry it? You've got yourself a meal. The all-new stuffed pollo toto frito, now at Cluckin' Bell. The meal in one just got massive.
17,000 calories. Nice. That's good. Cluckin' Bell. Man, I wish we had pictures of, let's see here. People made videos of the place. Let me see if, oh.
It just downloads a .mov. That's kind of gross.
I didn't like that at all. I guess I'll highlight it next time. Okay, I thought it was going to be a Twitter link. Here, download this MOV. Reporting live from a literal Cluckin' Bell. Oh, okay. I mean, that's pretty cool. Now open. That is such a good idea, knowing a Comic-Con is going to be there. Do not serve. Name Trevor Phillips. Reasons for refusal of service. Throwing grenades at employees. Hijacking customer cars. Vandalism. Failure to pay for meal. That's cool. Oh, nice. They relabeled their drinks. I mean, this is some good stuff. This is good shit. Support your local Cluck and Bell, proudly serving Los Santos and surrounding universes. Since yes. Yeah. Okay, I thought it said universities for a second. Smokin' Jay's Barbecue and Cluck and Bell. Support your local Cluck and Bell. Eat at Lucky Plucker and Bishop's Chicken if you want to shit yourself. Lucky Plucker actually sucks. Garbage ass food. Not even kidding. If you actually go to Bishop's Chicken, you might just be a douchebag. Jeez.
This is so funny.
Disclaimer. It isn't liable if it's true. Wow, look at that. They have the menu too. Drink Spruck, Wing Piece, Hot Cock, Cluckin' Huge, Cluckin' Sink, Little Pecker. Okay. Little Clucker, Farmer Surprise. Cock-a-doodle doo. What is this? If you enjoy it, the chicken didn't die in vain. Oh man, they went all out.
Yeah.
Like they went all they really did it.
You know what would be true to the spirit of fucking the Grand Theft Auto games?
What's that?
If even after the cease and desist, they publicly say they're not going to do it, and then they do it anyways.
Yeah.
I would mad props if they do that. Mad prop.
My cousin and I went to an actual Cluck and Bell. Nope, can't do that. Wow, with the menus. That's some good shit. Like, yeah, power to them.
Yeah, but of course, lawyers hate fun.
Yeah, for real. Especially like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have assumed that maybe they wouldn't have a copyright or something to this, since it's like an in-game thing that doesn't really exist, kind of, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, like legally, like if they want to claim the intellectual property for that, they should be required to prove that they have intent to open their own Cluck and Bell.
Yeah, because you gotta be like, you gotta be taking their money somehow, or pushing their money in a different direction somehow, hurting their brand somehow.
And there's almost no way that this could actually hurt their brand. Like, I'm pretty sure it can only help it. Doing a cease and desist is the dumbest thing they could actually do. What they should do is reach out and say, hey, we might have to cease and desist you because of, IP law and some bullshit there. But how about instead we cut a deal? Like, why? Why couldn't they just cut a deal? Just say, hey, we'll, you're using our IP, we gotta license it, blah, 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 So, but if you give us like fucking 5% of the profits or something, like, it's free, it'd be free money for them. Because they're not owning or operating it, if they're just making a deal that they can use their IP for a restaurant. Like, I don't know. I hate the corporate reliance on cease and desist.
Yeah, because it's if you're a little guy compared to whoever serves it to you, it's just not worth it.
And it's literally making the rest of the world shittier, because so many cool projects get shut down because of cease and desists.
I think in order to serve a cease and desist, you should have to take that through a court, and you would have to like prove and get approved by the court of a claim of some kind. You know what I mean? Like something. It just, I feel like the bar needs to be higher for
Yeah,
it.
it's too low. I agree.
On July 14th, as reported by Rockstar Intel, the companies involved with the fake fast food location Smokin' Jay's Barbecue and Las Vegas fashion brand Boy Worldwide were sent a cease and desist letter from Take-Two. The companies had planned to open Burger Shot and Cluck and Bell pop-up restaurants on July 20th, just in time for Comic-Con, but an email sent to Rockstar Intel by Smokin' Jay's Barbecue makes it clear that plans have changed. Last night, we received a cease and desist letter from the law firm representing Take-Two Interactive. In response, we have been forced to scrap the Burger Shot event that was planned this weekend. We are still doing a Cluck and Bell type installation next weekend. However, it's going to be a spoof installation branded Don't Cluck and Tell.
Okay, that's funny. I'm glad they're still doing something.
Yeah, for sure. Kotaku has reached out to Smokin' Jay's Barbecue. Take-Two Interactive declined to comment. It's not surprising that Take-Two Interactive, a company that has repeatedly gone after GTA modders and content creators in the past, would use its illegal team to shut down real-world restaurants based on GTA parodies. It's likely that last year's Cluck and Bell they've done this before. Last year's Cluck and Bell flew under the radar, and by the time Take-Two learned of it, it was all over. This year, with all the press surrounding the fast food locations and the addition of a Burger Shot, I'm assuming Take-Two was ready to act with a cease and desist letter the moment the companies announced their pop-up plans. While I understand that some GTA fans are likely disappointed by the news, I can see Take-Two's side in the situation. Unlike fan mods, which don't hurt anyone and shouldn't have been legally attacked by the publisher, an unofficial restaurant seems far too sketchy. A lot of people might just assume these places are officially approved by the connected to Rockstar, and if the food is gross or makes people sick, that could be bad for Take-Two and Rockstar. It would be a giant mess for all involved. I highly disagree. I completely disagree. Well. That's fucking dumb. That's stupidest take I have ever seen on fucking Kotaku website. Who wrote this? Give me your fucking name. Who did this? Who said that? Published yesterday by Zach Zwiesen. Okay, Zach Zwiesen. I got your name and I got your fucking thing, because we do a lot of Kotaku. Now I know. Now I know better. Keep my eyes out for Zach saying some stupid shit like that. If someone got sick at a pop-up location, the person that cooked the food and served the food would get in trouble. With restaurants and bars, typically whoever prepared the thing gets in more trouble than the establishment. The establishment would definitely get a fine, but like if I am a bartender and I give a drink to an underage person and I know that I'm doing that, I get in trouble. I go to jail. Bar definitely gonna get fined for sure, but I'm the one who did it. So that whole thing, very dumb of you to say that.
And like the reputation hit, it's Grand Theft Auto. Like
this is
they've been through worse.
This is good. This is like, you get all of the advertising. It gets people thinking about GTA and appreciating it and a nostalgic for it. And it's being done for you for free. They're fucking stupid for shutting this down. So dumb to shut this down. What they could have said is, you can do it, but we're sending paperwork. Our lawyers are sending paperwork that says that we have nothing to do with this. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I would like to make a legal barrier between us, because now that I've seen that it's happened, I no longer have plausible deniability, but you can do this. I'm not going to stop you, but maybe I just wouldn't even acknowledge it.
Just something could have been worked out. It didn't have to be a cease and desist. We should be allowed to have cool, fun things.
Big true. Biggest true. All right. I think you're going to like this one, Sage, this next one. Look at this glorious thing. Look at it.
Ooh, shiny.
It doesn't look real. It looks fake.
It looks CGI.
To me, it does. Grimlock Transformer toy costs $1,700 but transforms on its own. The Dinobots leader is the latest super advanced transformer. Robson Robotics, the robot maker that released an auto-transforming version of Optimus Prime in 2021. Do you remember this? Do you remember seeing this?
I do not. I don't.
This was awesome. I remember seeing this. This was $700. How cool is that?
That's dope.
Like, I remember seeing this, so I was like, man, $700? Why is this one $1,000 more? Probably because of what it's made out of. That one was made out of cheap stuff.
I was gonna say that one looked like it was plastic. This looks like it's fucking aluminum or something.
The leader of the Dinobots who prefers to refer to himself in the third person at all times. Like Optimus, Grimlock is an auto-converting robot that responds to voice and app commands and can walk in both robot and dinosaur form. Okay, that's why it's more expensive. Because you can talk to him. Hasbro and Robson, I don't know if Robosen are showing off their new Grimlock bot at San Diego Comic-Con this week and taking pre-orders for it starting today. The magic of Grimlock's new toy comes in a substantial cost, though. It will retail for $1,700 when it is released sometime this fall, though pre-orders come slightly cheaper at only $1,500. Get it now. Get it while it's cheap. I bet you this is going to go up in value, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to skyrocket in value. That is so collectible.
Yep, and the secondary market's going to pop off.
Described as a flagship collector's edition robot, the new take on the classic Grimlock design boasts 85 microchips and 34 servos as part of its complex build. The internal sensors promise constant balance motoring, providing unparalleled stability. Here's old Grimlock transforming from robot mode to dino mode. Sped up a little, mind you, and showing off that so-called unparalleled stability with a bit of smug satisfaction for good measure. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like it. I wish it was a little bit of a longer video, though. I'd like to see it walk around, but...
I wonder how level the surface it's on needs to be, though, for it to actually remain stable. Like, imagine if you put it on a table that was just like half a degree off level. And would it tip over during like that stage right there?
It says it has servos in it, so it might have some like balancing shit in it. Like maybe it can rock itself.
Right, but those are only good for a small range. So like how I want to know how much it would actually take to tip over. Like how stable is it really?
I wish I could pause this because at a certain point it has all of its body weight forward and it lifts its legs flat up. To me, that shows, I mean, the back end's got to have a ton of weight. And they lift straight up. He does kind of lean forward, though. Let's see. Standing 15 inches tall. Okay, not bad, not bad. Said to have been in development since 2016. Since then, the robotics manufacturer has released a handful of Transformers, including the auto-converting Optimus Prime and non-transforming versions of Optimus and G1 Bumblebee. Like the Optimus Prime robot, Grimlock features the Dinobot's original voice actor. Oh.
Let's go.
Grad Berger, the voice of G1 Grimlock, includes more than 150 original audio lines. Users can also use their voice to control Grimlock, commanding him to transform, walk, and perform various stunning stunts. Grimlock comes with a few accessories. His Galaxol rocket launcher and Energon sword and crown. Here's a closer look at the new Grimlock, both standing next to Robinson's Optimus Prime for size comparison and gnawing on Prime's leg for comedic purpose. It looks less cool in this picture. Why does it look different? Oh, because the room was dark. I don't know. It looks more shiny, silvery.
Yeah, it's the lighting.
It's
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just the lighting probably. I like how puny his arms are, like tiny and useless they are.
I want
100
I want to 3D print like a tiny pistol and give it to put it in his hand.
You transformed in the wrong neighborhood, Holmes. This is cool. This is cool as fuck. If I were a wealthy man, this would be a no-brainer for me.
Oh yeah, that's all the nostalgic, wealthy nerd kids who are now software developers and engineers.
Oh yeah, they knew what they were doing picking Grimlock. Grimlock hasn't been in shit. You know, if you know who Grimlock is, then you're a Transformers fan, probably.
Yep.
So, yeah. Man, that transformation is so smooth, but what was that, 4, 5, 6, 7? This has been in development for 7 years. So, I mean...
I wonder what else they've been working on for that length of time that they're going to release in like another year or two, because that's an impressive improvement. It looked from the looks of it over the Optimus Prime one. So
yeah, let's hit the Optimus one more time. I mean, I thought that was cool as shit when I first saw it. It still is pretty sick.
It is still cool, yeah.
But the addition of the voice commands and 150 voice lines from the original voice actor,
and it's the bipedal balancing that gets me. I'm just like, that does take a lot of effort for robotics.
It says it can walk in both Transformer and Dinosaur mode, so I wish I could see him just take a couple steps, you know? Just like, I don't know. I've seen some walking robotic toys recently, and they like walk. They don't like shuffle and rock back and forth, like they walk.
Yeah,
And
they're not wobbly.
Excited to see. So cool. So very cool. I imagine these are going to sell out basically instantly, and then they're going to pop up on eBay for like starting at $4,000 the day after.
Absolutely.
I mean, I almost feel like if I just had the extra 16 or 1,500 laying around, I'd just do it just to fucking sell it. I couldn't sell it though. I'd get it and I'd be like, I can't afford this, but I own it and I need to sell it, but I can't sell it because my brain won't let me. I'd be in a bad spot. Cool.
Go to a bank, tell them you want to take out a loan for an investment, and buy like 5 of them. Resell 4.
Yeah.
Nah, that'd be
Scary.
shitty. I'm not actually advocating that. That's shitty in my opinion. But I bet you some people will do it.
That is a shitty thing to do.
Yep. But people did that with the PS5s.
Okay. Oh, here it is. You limit 5 per customer. Oh, they got some better pictures though. Oh, that looks cool. Ah, they did a good job with the adding in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
With his crown on. Hell yeah. Ah, cool. I wonder if his sword actually glows. Probably does.
Well, I don't know. It says product render, so
I wonder if he actually spits fire. Probably not.
We can make him spit fire.
That is so classic. That is classic as fuck, man. Ah, too cool. The crown accessory, so good. I'm impressed. Color me impressed, man. You know, them doing this product rendering is like, you know, people who are who do like renderings, they're gonna see those pictures and be like, oh, now I gotta get it.
Yeah.
Think of all the scenes I could set up. Wow, there's a lot of pictures. I was just seeing if they added I wanted to see if they added a video, but man, this is going on forever.
The ones where he's grabbing the feet. I'm like, yeah, look, he walks as he fucking manually walks his legs. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we found, you know what? It was worth looking.
Not bad for Autobots. Now watch Grimlock.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing the
From a
world's
different
first
angle.
auto-converting
Yeah, we can see the
dual-form bipedal
transformation.
robots, Grimlock.
Oh, yeah.
7 years in the making, RoboSen is proud to announce the next authentic G1 Transformers character from screen to reality.
Meet Grimlock. Wonder how this happened.
Grimlock is powered by 85 microchips and 6-axis IMU, controlling 34 high-precision servo motors, enabling fluid actions and smooth switching from both Dino and Robot form.
I think going to robot form is more
Enjoy
impressive.
new interactions with Grimlock and experience his new
Oh, yep,
and
he
unique
just
features.
waddles.
Dinobots.
Well, he is also a T-Rex. I don't really expect him to be that graceful.
RoboSen's
Oh.
Grimlock stands at an impressive 15 inches tall in both Dino and Robot form. You can control both by Bluetooth straight from the app. And interact with your Grimlock with an extensive library of voice commands. Voiced by the original voice from the G1 series, Greg Berger.
Meet Grimlock.
Execute my enemies.
Meet Grimlock must leave.
Create custom actions in both Dino and Robot form for endless playability. In
Interesting.
block-based, manual, voice, and PC programming modes. And share your own ideas with other users around the world.
Yes, yes, yes. Wreck Decepticons now.
Equipped and ready for battle, Grimlock comes with an Energon Sword, Galaxial Rocket Launcher, and the crown. All hail Grimlock! Step into Mini Theater, where you can interact with other RoboSen Transformers robots to reenact scenes between your favorite Transformers characters. Grimlock G1 Flagship Edition by RoboSen. Order now.
Tell you what, man, toy soldiers, we're getting there.
Oh yeah.
We're getting close. Oh man. And that you can like program your own commands into him is pretty cool too. I like that it says that he will interact with other G1 series robots. So yeah, definitely showing that
They've got a plan.
yeah, a plan for them to talk to each other, interact with each other. And since it's digital like that through the phone, I bet you're going to be able to download new voice lines. It'd be sick if like Grimlock's standing there and you put them near another one, they would like almost like Bluetooth wire to each other and like upload almost like who they are to each other, if that makes sense.
They could do so much fun things. Like imagine they re-released it as like a G2 Grimlock, and they could make them like have conversations where, did me always look like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, Grimlock got upgrade or stuff like that. Like that's so fun. Expensive, but fun.
Expensive fun. Yeah, this is cool. It's been a while since I've seen a toy that I'm excited about, because this is like not even a model. Usually I get excited over models. This is super dope. I'm glad I clicked on that.
My question then is, who can fix them when they break?
Nobody.
Shit.
Don't break it.
Yeah?
Repairs on these cost about $1,700. Because
Yeah.
you're just gonna be replacing it. That's it.
Sad.
Interesting. So cool. Good on Polygon for covering this, because I didn't see anyone else covering it. It's super cool. Pokemon Sleep is recording players' farts and they don't know how to feel.
What the? Okay, first off, I'm just like, what the fuck is Pokemon Sleep? Because I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
So Pokemon Sleep is an app that records your sleep.
Why?
And you can connect it to your Pokemon Go Plus device, which will... Okay, so Pokemon Sleep is tracking your sleep. It's tracking how good of sleep you're getting and that sort of thing. And you get kind of like rewarded if you plug it into your Pokemon Go Plus app, right? So the app knows when you have fallen asleep, like sleep apps do, right? So when you connect it to your Pokemon Go Plus, the app will know when you are no longer conscious. And when it detects that you are not conscious, it will start to automatically catch Pokemon and spin Pokestops when it detects that you're unconscious. And the first thing I thought of, because I'm a little fucked up, was I was like, man, could you imagine if like a hospital was a Pokestop and you just slapped your Pokemon Go Plus like watch onto someone who's in a coma and you just fucking left them there?
Very concerning.
Just someone in a coma who's got like 13 watches up both arms. We miss you, Uncle Steve, but please don't ever wake up. It's shiny this weekend.
Sorry.
If you're gonna wake up on Monday. All right. After connecting the two programs, you can wake up to Pikachu as an alarm clock or listen to it sing you a lullaby at night. Additionally, the application records noises you make while you're sleeping. So it's supposed to, like, if you talk in your sleep or you snore, it's supposed to record that. I don't know what the importance of that is. But however, not everyone sleeps peacefully. Therefore, these users were shocked to hear Pokemon Sleep recording them snoring and farting. A Twitter user posted a 13-second clip of what they discovered the next morning. Yes. Farts make me laugh.
Toilet humor.
Thanks, Pokemon Sleep. I'm glad I fart like that in bed. Just...
You know what, though? I actually think this would be really funny for, like, couples. Because the number of times that I've been, like, up on my phone and my wife has been sleeping next to me and she starts, like, muttering things in her sleep. And I'm listening and I'm like, wait, is she asleep? What is she actually saying? And like by the time I get my phone out to like try and record what she's saying so I can show her, because it's really funny sometimes, it's like, oh, she's done now, shit. You know, so if it does that automatically, I'm like, that could be fun. That could be funny. But
I talk in my sleep a lot, so I was when I read about this, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to hear what I'm saying in my sleep. Let's see. Recorded their farts and snores. How do you feel knowing almost 50,000 people listen to you fart? Someone asked in the replies. The post has since reached over 100,000 views since the user's comment. This is quite possibly the greatest advertisement for this app anyone could ever make. How is Pokemon Sleep? Well, it records my farts and snores, which is neat. Which is neat. Nah. Nice. As Pokemon Sleep rolls out in additional countries, more players will likely post their hilarious findings. Therefore, make sure to stay updated with our Pokemon page for other hysterical stories. That's it. That's all the segment is. I just thought it was funny.
I might have to give it a try just for funsies.
I think you have to have, I don't know, maybe you don't. I don't understand how it knows you're sleeping. Like, I don't know how it does that.
What it sounds like, so Pokemon Sleep is the new application. So you download the app to your phone, and then you also buy the Pokemon Go Plus, which is like the little watch thing. So just like a smartwatch that does sleep tracking, you'd wear the watch while you're sleeping, right? And then that detects, that's what does the actual sensing of how good you're sleeping, how pro gamer you are at the snores, and then we'll like, oh, they're tossing and turning, or oh, they're starting to talk in their sleep, and then it'll trigger your phone, and then your phone will like go into recording mode, or maybe the Go Plus has a microphone on it itself, so it'll pick it up. Don't know the specifics, but it's that second device. It's the Go Plus Plus, which if you're still actively playing Pokemon Go, you could.
You know what I have? I have a Pokemon Plus watch that is basically a bootleg from eBay, and it doesn't make any noises, and it doesn't vibrate, and it doesn't light up, and it just looks like a little dongle on my wrist, and it pushes the button, because the Pokemon watch thing, when it vibrates, it means there's a Pokestop or a Pokemon, and you're supposed to push the button.
Yep.
It does all of that.
Automatically?
Yeah, and so basically I just start the game up if I'm going for like a walk, and I put the phone in my pocket, and when my walk is done, I've caught like 30 Pokemon.
Oops.
Because I was finding that when I went with walks with friends, I was irritated by like just spending too much of my attention was on my phone. And then the other watches, it's like, if it's just gonna buzz my wrist and all I have to do is push the button, all I'm doing is getting rid of the need to reach over and slap my wrist and wear a gigantic childish looking Pokemon watch that does not tell the time. If it was an actual watch that looked a little neat, and instead of being like a button, it was like maybe the glass on the watch was like touch sensitive, that I would wear it. But
I really wish that they had come out with an app for either the Samsung Tizen smartwatches or the Android Wear smartwatches, because they only came out with an actual wearable app for Pokemon Go on for the Apple Watch. And
I didn't know that.
That would have been so much nicer. So much nicer.
Sage, are you ready for the Sonic Superstar opening animation?
Yeah. Here we go. Woo!
I'm excited. This is I'm actually quite excited for this. Oh, here we go. Oh, those sounds. The sounds of my childhood. It's so good, Sage. Sage, it's so good.
It is. Oh, that is so exciting.
I love where was it? He was bopping people.
Was that Amy Rose with her hammer? Is that what you're talking about, or hitting?
Yep. Well, I noticed. Let me see. Maybe back a little further. Let me start over. The shaders. This is like those 90s shaders. Pokemon actually did it. Old animes used to do it. Do you know what I'm talking about? These very like round light spots.
Yeah, it has a very Akira Toriyama feel to it, like Dragon Ball. animation style, I feel like.
It does. I was trying to place it. I'm like, it reminds me of early anime, but the movement and some of the like explosions and stuff look, and the way the ground's moving right there. I don't know. That's just. And he's got the facial expressions from like, you know, cartoony. I dig that. Yeah, no, this whole thing's fantastic. So the Sonic Superstars, this is just a bunch of games, right?
No, it's an original game.
Oh, I thought it was like a compilation of old games.
That was Sonic Origins. That's what just came out. So Sonic Origins was a compilation, but they were remastered, reprogrammed in a fresh engine so that they could run in 16:9 aspect ratio, so they could actually run in widescreen instead of old school classic 4:3, which is actually really nice. I like, some people will die on the hill that the original aspect ratio, you know, is like what it should be. But Sonic games and like the fast speed-based movement stuff, please give me a few extra pixels so I can see what's coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Man, so we don't get to see any footage?
I could have sworn there was some game footage already, but maybe
Get ready for Sonic Superstars arriving fall. Is this just the trailer again?
It's showing some classic stuff.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh, it's side by siding it. Oh, I am a fan of that. I really hope it's not zoomed in that close. I don't like it when side scrollers zoom in too far. Ooh, multiplayer.
Yeah, it's doing the Super Mario World.
Got some new stuff. Oh, I like that. Making use of the 3D wall. Yeah, you're right though. It does have like a Super Mario thing going on. I don't know. That does it for me.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh!
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see
the
it.
Weasel. Well, all right then.
Let's see. Events and daily giveaways, activities. This is the restaurant pop-up by Secret Sauce Society. Sonic Speed Cafe. Look at that. They're supporting a pop-up restaurant for the con.
Sega is so much more supportive of fan content. They are amazing. Like this is a legit Sega does what Nintendo don't moment. Like they are at current times living up. Oh yeah, they came out with a new season for Sonic Prime on Netflix, which we started watching, and it's a fun show. It's a good show. It's a good Sonic show.
Pretty good. Okay. Man, so cool. I got Sonic hype. I got Sonic fever. That looks great.
That actually looks like a fan game that was being developed. Jesus Christ. They released like the first level I think it was just called Sonic Green Hill Remix or Sonic Remix Green Hill Zone. Fucking like 10 years ago. That's what that actually looks like. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
It's just checking some of their socials to see if they had anything new popped up, but not so much. Cool.
Okay, when was this? Let's see. Oh, this video was 3 years ago, but it definitely was out before that. It doesn't say the date in the comments. Okay, let me see. Is there commentary on this? Blah blah blah. Okay, all right, no commentary. So okay, well let me show this. This is a clip. Sending to you.
Uno Momento. Okay, let me check it out. So this is a Sonic fan game, Sonic fan remix 3 years ago. I'm going to kill the volume just because I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, they were going for that whole updated graphics 3D environments.
I have the playable demo on my Windows 7 machine. Like, this was all playable, too. This isn't like a teaser thing. It's...
That jungle level that they showed looked like this. And the
exactly.
plants...
That's what it makes me think of.
The plants bounced around this way as well.
It almost makes me feel like someone who was involved in this project, you know, finished their degree in computer video games and got hired by Sega and was like, hey, this project I started, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that someone at Sega played the demo and was like, dude, let's do this. Let's make this happen. Call the guy up and be like, you know.
That was so dope. When did it actually come out? Because, like, that 2019, the date on there, like, it came out before then. This is actually an old fan game, way older than 3 years.
Interesting. Let me get my window lined up here. Yeah, that looks is uncanny the right word? It looks very, very close.
2013.
A decade ago.
10 years ago. That's insane. I didn't think it was quite that long. Oh my god, I'm old.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Yeah, right.
Push those thoughts away. Real quick, just for reference, Sage, how do you feel about loot boxes?
No. Just no. Stop it. Don't. They're bad.
But why though?
Because you're gambling on things that are so temporary and not real. You can't take them with you. It's just you're just pissing money away.
Okay. Cool. The UK games industry agrees to restrict access to loot boxes for under 18 years, among 11 principles to mitigate potential harm. So the title here talks about the under 8. It does mention this 11 principles. So I went and looked up those 11 principles, and here they are. Make available technological controls to effectively restrict anyone under age of 18 from acquiring a loot box without the consent or knowledge of a parent, carer, or guardian. So that's their number 1. drive awareness of and uptake of technological controls with all players, parents, carers, and guardians through regular communication, starting with a targeted public information campaign launching in July. From an expert panel on age assurance in the game industry, the group will meet regularly to develop and share best practices, stay appraised of technological developments, and explore opportunities to develop improved systems, engaging with relevant regulators and policymakers, blah, 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 blah. I can't read this. I can't read it. It reads like VCR instructions. Disclose the presence of loot boxes prior to purchase and download of a game so that players can make informed choices. Give clear probability disclosures. Design and present loot boxes in a manner that is easily understandable to players. Support the implementation of the video games research framework to facilitate the creation of better quality data-driven research video games. Continue to tackle the unauthorized external sale of items. Basically buying the things from loot boxes for real money, that sort of thing. Commit to lenient refund policies, which I have no clue how that would work. Advanced protections for all players, and work with UK government and other relevant shareholders to measure the effectiveness of these principles. So it's pretty weak. I actually think this is like uber weak. This is,
and some of it seems like unenforceable or just like not something that can be done with loot box systems if you're trying to actually do it in a way to be monetized.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's a nothing burger. In my opinion, it's just a nothing burger.
Like if you're going to put in a system where you can refund a loot box, then there's no point. Like there's just why do a loot box? You know, people will just, oh, I didn't get the item I wanted, refund. You know,
right?
And it's just like, okay, there's no point then.
The principles have been agreed by representatives from major international platforms, as of course they've agreed to it because they were like, this is dumb. Sure, yeah, we'll do that. As well as from international and UK-based publishers and developers who worked with the Department of Culture, Media and Sports, academics, and consumer groups and regulators. Among the 11 principles are a pledge to make technological controls more widely available that restrict anyone under 18 from purchasing a loot box without consent. Just, there's no way to track that. It's no way. Like, porn sites, perfect example. Like, are you 18? Yeah. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. The industry will also fund awareness campaign designed to educate parents about those controls, make clear the game contains loot boxes before purchase, make probability information available to those loot boxes. So basically it's just like the, cigarette companies have to tell you that cigarettes are bad for you. Something that everyone knows, but if you're going to smoke, you're going to smoke. So we've been clear the video games industry needs to do more to protect children and adults from harms associated with loot boxes. Minister of Creative Industries, these new principles are a big step forward to make sure players can enjoy video games responsibly and safely. I look forward to seeing games companies put the plan into action, watching their progress closely. Over the past several years, the UK government has investigated loot boxes and whether they should be regulated the same way as gambling. In July of 2023, the government essentially said the industry needs to do more to protect underage people. And I think this is so weak sauce. Like, just I almost can't even like put into words how ineffective this is going to be. And I don't know if it's just people with these big positions and names, or just, is it virtue signaling? Is that what it is? I don't know. They're trying to like secure the importance of their job by throwing legislation about things they don't quite understand in ways that aren't going to help anybody. It just looks like it will, sounds good, sort of thing.
Yeah,
really,
and it's only as good as the enforcement too.
Right. Yeah, and when it says here, where did it say it? It said fucking The principles have been agreed upon by representatives from major international platforms as well as international and UK-based publishers and developers. Like, of course, no one would disagree with this because they're like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, we thought you were going to actually enforce some things here. It's like, you'd be like, these are our strong principles and we're standing on them. Going to make the digital space safer for kids. And that they're still saying, what the fuck did they say? Investigate a loot box and whether they should be regulated the same as gambling. Like, we are so far beyond like asking that as a question. It's not a question anymore. It is very, very well documented at this point that loot boxes are the same as gambling. Your brain does not know the difference. Your brain can't tell the difference. And a developing brain is going to develop the same way with loot boxes as if you had the kid gambling from an early age. Same exact thing will happen to your brain. Very well documented. How loot boxes in children's video games encourage gambling. So we just covered them saying like, we think this might lead to some gambling things. Maybe. Here's some restrictions. While gambling is illegal in the U.S., children can begin gambling as early as 10, and 80% of adolescents reported gambling in the past year. 80% of adolescents reported gambling in the past year. If your child plays video games, they may be gambling without realizing it. Video games used to be one-time purchases. Today's games act more as a service, with companies often providing them for free and relying upon loot boxes and microtransactions like in-game purchases to create revenue streams. According to a Federal Trade Commission report, loot boxes have been a topic of concern both nationally and internationally over concerns that they encourage gambling-like behavior or use concerning tactics that can encourage addictive consumer spending, even in games targeting young children. You got something, Sage?
Not at the moment.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just listening to you read.
My bad. I thought I heard you about to say something. Loot boxes are typically an in-game container that masks the contents, which are random. Players spend real currency or in-game currency to receive one of these random items, which can make the player more powerful, competitive, or appealing. That's a good way of saying that. Powerful, competitive, or appealing. That's, yeah, everyone can understand that. The concept became mainstream in 2010 when introduced popular games like Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch Call of Duty. In fact, some popular games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 incorporated them to such an extent that it was accused of being pay to win, prompting a significant backlash and led to the publisher Electronic Arts to revise the game. By the way, for anyone who was there during the Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box era, it was an absolute and complete nightmare and it tanked the game instantly. And after they made the fixes, it turned into one of my favorite games like that I play today. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is so freaking good, and you don't have to loot box anything. Everything's progression based.
That was the one where, like, if you were to unlock Darth Vader, like, through actual gameplay, it would have taken, like, something obscene, right? Like,
it was like
2,000 hours or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was 2,000 or 1,200 or something like that. Yeah. And then they were like, this is how many years it will take to unlock everything free to play.
Yeah, so it's like, no, it's like you can't, that's... Ugh.
They're like, you can unlock everything without paying a penny.
It's like, okay, fuck you.
Yet the formula remains common with popular franchises such as Candy Crush, Diablo, Final Fantasy releasing games that rely heavily on microtransactions and loot boxes to succeed. Recent research suggests that video game industry generated up to $30 billion from loot boxes in 2018. Major game studios like Ubisoft and Take-Two Interactive rely on these tactics for a majority of their corporate revenue. Yet these studios' revenue may be disproportionately impacting a small number of gamers. Over 90% of its revenue is generated from a small number of gamers called whales. These whales are gamers who spend disproportionate amounts in game purchases, may be already exhibiting concerning gambling behavior, even if they're underage. According to addictions researchers, loot boxes create dynamic similar to gambling behavior. In a recent survey, adolescents by these Central Queensland University researchers, they found that the majority of best-selling video games had loot boxes, and almost all adolescents aged 12 to 17 or 18 to 24 had played a game with loot boxes, and the average 12 to 17-year-old spent an average of $50 per month. On average, 12 to 17-year-olds, right? $50 is buying a brand new AAA new release video game, basically, every single month.
Rice.
The average 18 to 24-year-old spent an average of $72 a month. Importantly, this same research showed that loot box purchases significantly increase the odds of problem gambling later. Analysis of motivations for gamers to purchase loot boxes mirror common reasons for gambling. Gamers are exchanging money or something of value in an attempt to influence a future event. The outcome of this future event is not known at the time of the transaction, and chance at least partially determines the outcome. When games are designed to maximize spending as a perceived path to victory within the game, gamers may feel forced to engage in gambling behavior. By the way, some of this gambling behavior, if we talk about games like Lost Ark and Diablo Immortal, there were actual guilds. There are right now, but especially at launch, there were actual guilds that you had to take a picture of your transaction history with the game in order to get in the guild. Because if you weren't dumping at least like $500 a month into the game, you weren't keeping up with the meta. Which is bananas, because that's social pressure. If you're trying to be in the best guild in the game, social pressure that spending money is part of the meta is pure fucking madness to me. So it's like if it's something like a loot box that has cosmetics in it, like Overwatch, at least then you're just trying to get something that you might want, you might like. But in the case of a multiplayer game or an MMO, having the pressure of spending money by other people who are also playing the game, to me, is like utter madness. Pure madness. Emerging research suggests that loot box purchases and similar gaming behavior amongst children or teens can lead to problem gambling later in life. These activities seem fun and harmless, potentially normalizing risky behavior. Given that many games targeting children, such as Pokemon franchise games, which they don't, I don't know why it says that. I can't think of a single Pokemon game that has... Oh, there was that new Pokemon Arena game where you play as the Pokemon. That did have loot boxes.
I mean, Pokemon Go kind of had loot boxes too.
Did it?
Because you could spend real money for coins to buy like lures and better Pokeballs and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of a roundabout loot box.
Yeah, it's how. Yeah, because it's like you don't know what you're gonna actually use them on and what's gonna. But it's adjacent. Not quite there, I think, but adjacent, as close as I'm aware of it.
Did you know that you could spend money to get legendaries in Diablo Immortal? Like,
no.
So I gotta say, they're completely fucking genius in the way that they did this. But what you could do is you could spend real life money to get their fake currency, and you use that fake currency to buy, I can't remember what they're called. I'm just going to call them like talismans or something. You can get a box of these talismans. The talismans you use to charge portals. And when you charge portals, the boss at the end of the run has a chance to drop more legendaries. So they effectively turn the boss into the loot box, but Diablo Immortal said, we're not going to do any loot boxes. So instead, you bought these gems from the store that just made doing runs more profitable, effectively turning the run into the loot box. So they found adding steps to get around the loot box problem. It's fucking bananas. And that's another one where it's like you want to do a run with your buddies and they're all putting up gems for extra loot drops, but you're not putting up anything. Then you could be seen as a free to play plebeian, and you're just, playing off of other people's hard earned cash. Just fucking crazy. Parents must be aware of this potential concern and monitor spending in games, ideally requiring parental permission to make any purchases. Talking to your children about gambling works, and watching for problem gambling behavior such as changes in money, changes in behavior, irritability, blah, 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 blah. Sounds good. So we started out with just kind of talking about, so I'm trying to paint a picture. The picture I'm painting is that all of like the legal stuff, all the government stuff that's been going on around this so far, in my opinion, has been very lackluster. I know there's a couple countries, and I think a couple states in the US actually who have done stuff. Right here it says other countries have taken a harder line, with Belgium declaring loot boxes a form of gambling in 2017 and banning them in 2018. Albeit with seemingly inconsistent enforcement as of 2022. Earliest this year, the EU voted for more reform in video game industry, which included greater regulations of loot boxes. So I felt like there was a state out there that banned loot boxes, but I might be wrong. So this should be like a cautionary tale. What I want to highlight here is that 80% of adolescents reported gambling in the past year, as early as 10 years old, and 80%. I mean, this sentence right here, I don't know how you could fucking read this and it not concern you. Children can begin gambling as early as 10, and 80% of adolescents reported gambling in the past year. When you combine that with 12 to 17-year-olds spent on average $50 a month on loot boxes. So it's like 80% have, and the average is $50. It's just, it's not good. That's not good. Because, when these 12-year-olds, 80% of 12-year-olds reach 21 years old and start hitting the casino.
Yep, and have more disposable income, because at that point they probably have an actual job.
Yeah, because we know that this number, this $50 per month, is fueling this number, the $72 per month.
Yep, this is what they're used to spending. So once they have an actual job, it's just going to go up.
They're like, well, when I was 10, I used to spend $50. So now that I'm, 23 years old, what's $100 per month? I mean, I'm not a baby anymore. Those are baby numbers. I have a feeling that a lot of this stuff is also, indie studios are saving the gaming industry. The entire gaming industry is currently being saved by indie studios. Because if it wasn't for indie studios, this becoming normalized, this $50 a month, the $72 per month, the cost of purchasing games would be going through the roof if it wasn't for indie studios keeping the cost of games down.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
And most indie studios deserve your money more than a AAA studio anyway. So, in my opinion, a lot of, if not most of, the indie games I've played in the past 2 years deserved $60. And every AAA game I have played, I think, in the past 2 years has been garbage by comparison. Looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say I have a rule of thumb for like microtransactions and loot boxes. And my rule of thumb is $10. Like just straight up $10. Like if the game was free and you've enjoyed playing it and there's some microtransactions in it, $10 should be like your spending limit. Not $10 a month, $10. Just straight up.
For free to play games, I do a hard
give a caveat to that. If it's a mobile game, $10. If it's a little bigger platform, like on PC, like Smite or League of Legends even, I'd give that, say, $20.
I do $10 per 100 hours played. And for a game like Smite, I have a rule that I can only buy a skin for a character if I get them to level 10.
Conveniently, when you get bored of them, just start playing a different character.
yeah, because normally that's what happens. I have so many characters that are level like 5, 6. I have very few level 10s, but the ones that I do have at level 10, I've bought a skin for.
That's a good rule of thumb.
And I like it. Like, because I kind of feel like I've earned it in a way. And yeah. And so every 100 hours I play, I can basically buy a battle pass for 100 hours.
Yeah. SNK says that like nothing more than the average of $30 to $50 total, which is what it would be worth to buy as a full game. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely being stingy with my $10 to $20. But that's a good rule of thumb that I know other people have used too. Is like if I would be willing to spend, whatever the full purchase price of the game is as a new game on microtransactions.
I also think if you play a game like an MMORPG or a MOBA, like I feel like if you put 100 hours into it, like the first 100 hours, you get nothing. If you put the second 100 hours, so if you hit the 200 hour mark, go ahead and drop $30 to $50 if you want to. And I only say that because, if you talk about like buying a new game, like not in my opinion anyway, I don't usually get 100 hours out of most games. I mean, the games that it's so weird. The games that I do get a lot of time out of, I get an insane amount of, and games that I don't, I get almost nothing out of. So it's, like when I played Breath of the Wild, I played it all the way through, played it one time, did some side stuff, maybe put 80 hours into it, and that was it.
I still can't believe I have 1,200 hours in Dead by Daylight.
You deserve some skins.
I don't play it anymore is the problem. Or maybe the good thing, I don't know. But
what is going on behind me? Oh, there's a breeze brushing against my green screen and it's making this like white thing appear. So all of this talk about microtransactions and shit are leading up to this video because I feel like governments talking about loot boxes kind of meh. Hearing some of the numbers, like how many kids are playing and how much kids are spending on their gambling addictions at 12 years old, which to me is as ridiculous as saying like, we have too many 12-year-olds in the US who are alcoholics. Like it feels that ridiculous to say. So this video, you really got to take everything we've talked about thus far and you got to like hold it in your mind, because this video is someone selling the idea of loot boxes to a game company. So this is not a person who's advocating for kids. This is the person on the opposite end of that.
Okay.
And I thought to overhear this conversation is very important because we don't normally get the back end. Like we don't get to hear about, imagine being a fly on the wall in the conversation where people were talking about like what kind of chemicals can we put in cigarettes to make them more addicting. Like just imagining that conversation. This is like that conversation, but for loot boxes. So this is the bad guy. We're watching a video recorded of the bad guy. This is the villain of the plot, and a very unique opportunity to hear how they actually talk and think. Remember, 10-year-olds, 80%, $50 a month. Copyrighted music. Immediately.
Yeah. You will probably be slightly shocked by all the tricks I have listed here, but
let me see here.
The morality of it out of the talk. We can discuss it if we have time later.
So he says immediately, we're going to leave the morality of this conversation out of the talk. And if you look at the wall behind him, it says, "Let's go whaling." So this is the tone being set by the salesman. and in front of him is a bunch of basically owners of game development companies. These are not developers. These are not community leaders or people who are community managers for the games. These are stakeholders and shareholders of game companies.
Let's
Dude,
dive
bro, finance heads.
Yes.
right in.
A room full of Sigma males.
First off, Wall Street trader and an oil sheik got into a fight. Who won? You guys did. This is to remind...
That is actually really fucking funny. A Wall Street trader and an oil, was that say sheik, got into a fight. Who won the game company? So, two very rich people fighting in a video game.
You that a lot of the spend comes from the high paying guys, the whales, and the very best way to get these guys to spend is to get two
And let me know, guys, in chat if you can hear everything.
rich competitive guys
Important to hear
fight
this.
each other and tell them I'll give you a slight upside if you pay me. Next off, to remind you that the best way to make sure of both your retention and your monetization is to make sure you have enough of an in-game economy in there. The 1,000 up there is actually clearly lowballing it. Top grossing games have in-game economies worth tens of thousands. That's how you can keep people in there. They have lots of things to do, stuff to upgrade, to progress along, and that's how you can make them spend a lot as well. Since you can, for instance, give a huge discount on something. You know, this stuff is worth 150 euros, but now I'll give it to you for 5. If your whole in-game economy is worth less than 150, you cannot do that, of course. So now, a few of these like frameworks on how to think of stuff. I've seen suggestions to model what you sell according to Bartle types. I assume you're all familiar with Bartle types. The achievers want to progress.
All right, so this is really important. This is like they basically broke up every gamer into one of 4 categories. And basically when you monetize your game, what these guys are looking at is how do you systematically make sure that you can monetize these types of gamers individually. So people who are achievers, they want progress in the game. They want to get all the achievements. They want to achieve everything the game has to offer. Socializers, obviously, that's like your dress up, your cosmetics, your emotes, that sort of thing. Competitive advantage, your killers, your PvPers, I want to pay money to beat the other guy sort of thing. And then content explorers, well, that's just, you know, paying extra money to see extra things, to, you know, experience extra things. So we can kind of get past the bottle types because I think as gamers, we're pretty aware of who they are.
This one I like a bit better. Hook Habit Hobby. This is a
Hook Habit Hobby is fucked up. This is yeah, I'm gonna get pissed watching this.
model from Dimitri Dravanov of Flare Games.
It makes sense as a selling principle. Like it makes sense, but it's scummy.
It's a model for how people progress in a game. The hook is what gets you into the game to try out a free-to-play game. Then you build it into a habit that you play multiple sessions every day. And then at the end, it's the hobby phase where people see it as one of their main hobbies and they put lots of time and resources into it. Now, if we look at this from a monetization...
And from a monetization standpoint, what he's talking about is every single free-to-play game has the beginner's bundle. It has the bundle that gives you, you know, 5,000% value for, you know, $1.50. That's the icebreaker. Progress is obviously the longer you play the game, the more you become reliant on the store, and that curve of how much time you have to invest versus how much money you spend, that curve starts going really sharp. True free-to-play players, that's usually when they quit. And then hobby is obviously, I've put so much money into this that I now have like a sunk cost fallacy and I can't get out.
Perspective, the hook is where you put up an icebreaker. You want to give a really, really good deal, something that's a no-brainer. You would be crazy to turn it down as a player. The reason to give a really good deal
10,000% value.
By making people spend up front, they are also emotionally committing to your game, their retention will go up. And the first spend is, it breaks the ice, then they think of themselves as spenders in the game. It's okay for me to spend in the game. Lots of people are otherwise have this wall up, I will never pay for a mobile game. So you need to break the wall first. The habit is like the main meat of the game. This is where you sell the faster progress, as we just discussed. And the hobby is for the guys who have already maxed out. They're the guys who have all of their Clash of Clans building at the max level. They are already there. So you can no longer sell progress to them, you have to sell consumables. This is where you're selling the faster healing times or faster build times of armies. This is also where you get basically unlimited upper spend. There's no limit to how much you can spend in, for instance, Clash of Clans. So let's go down into some of these more tricks. Gachas. Who hasn't heard of gachas? Excellent. Most of you have. So gachas, they're named after gachapon, these Japanese machines, which are sort of slot machines that give you collectible stuff. On random, you get collectible stuff. But it's really the same mechanic that we have had in Western markets for collectible playing cards like Magic the Gathering for ages. Get the collection that they need compared to just progressing and collecting soft. Okay, then
I think we all basically get that.
Get to your millions. Do you go the king route of having a huge volume of players and a fairly modest lifetime value for each spender, or do you go the machine zone route of having a very hardcore game that like 95% of the population is going to look like, what is that? But the 5% that actually do play it, they will spend a lot. Just know where you stand on this. Hot state.
LTV stands for lifetime value. So it's volume versus lifetime value.
There's an excellent book about behavioral psychology called Thinking Fast and Slow. This is the fast thinking. I'm telling you that the fast thinking mode is what you want. The slow thinking is your analytical brain. What's 12 times 47? I'm sure all of you can answer that, but you have to start your actual thinking brain to do that. Now, if I say, complete the sentence, bread and everyone's thought butter. So that's the fast thinking. Our brain works in these two modes, and starting the analytical part of your brain is too much to ask for a spend. How it applies to games is make stuff immediately useful, immediate gratification. If you have a level-based game...
So another thing that gets into is the difference between a dopamine hit and a serotonin hit. When you have to think through something and you have to like burn, brain calories basically to get through to the other side of an idea, the reward you get is definitely going to be some dopamine, but because you've done something successfully and it required thought and effort, you're going to get a little bit of serotonin, or at least it is more like gaining serotonin. Where basically what he's talking about with these quick things is you're getting these quick rewards and you're getting them so fast. It's the bright lights, it's the loud noises, it's the chimes, it's the, you did it, rah, rah, rah sort of thing. And then when you fail or you do something incorrect or you get stuck, you pay a little bit of money to get that dopamine train back up and running. So that dopamine train is designed to break down at some point after you've already become hooked. And basically you're spending an amount of money to get that machine that's been, you've been snorting for the past hour back up and going.
You sell some boosters up front, for instance, a coin doubler or some loss aversion. This is people are much more attached to the stuff they have than an equal amount of things that they can gain, which means that if I give you an offer, I'll flip a coin, If it's tails, I'll take 100 euros from you. If it's heads, I'll give you 120 euros. Who would take the bet? No one. No. We need more gain to offset the loss is felt more strongly. We need like 200 against 100 loss, 200 gain against 100 loss, then we'll take the deal.
Which is exactly how gambling works. You know, you throw your money up, you can triple your money, quadruple your money, even though the odds are against you. The idea that you can gain so much curbs your value, just like in the graph there.
Deal. In games, you can apply this by giving people stuff that feels is in their pocket, and then threaten to take it away unless they pay up. This is, lots of level-based games do this. There are collectibles in things like Puzzle and Dragons. You collect along the way. If you didn't finish the level, they'll take it from you. Now, pay to continue a bit. Offers and scarcity plays into the loss aversion. If there are rare cards up here, and you see the goblin going with his clocks tick-tock.
I'm going to skip to the IKEA effect.
The IKEA effect. This is to say, stuff that we put work into, we value more highly. You know, IKEA really sells you cardboard stuff. It's shit. But you value it still somehow slightly higher because you actually built it yourselves. The model over here is from a psychology book called Hooked, How to Build Hooking Products. This is how we build habits. There's a trigger to remind us to do something, then we go do an action, we get the variable reward.
The trigger is a push notification, the action is you boot up the game and hit the get your free daily item button, that's the reward. You invest your time and then you wait for your next notification.
Like the gachas, we get the lottery ticket, and then to really hook it down,
the lottery ticket,
we need to
exactly.
ask people to do something for us, do a little bit of work, because then they become emotionally attached to that. And then we set up the next trigger, either internal or external. External trigger means really a notification in our case.
Yep.
Internal,
a notification
that people have in their minds that, you know, I started building that tower, or I planted pumpkins. That means I need to come back in 8 hours. So that's the trigger, and then we go round and round, and we have the habit. Anchoring is fun. Anchoring means that when we don't know the price of stuff, the first price we hear suggested for it becomes our anchor, and then we compare everything to that. For instance, an iconic example, black pearls. Black pearls, when they first came on the market, no one wanted them because they're dull and black and don't look very nice. The guy who had them told his summer trainee or whatnot to just dump the price of them and get rid of them. The summer trainee understood it wrong and actually hiked the price by 50% or 100%. And then suddenly they became these objects of desire. Even more special, I think, is this. If I ask all of you to write down the last 2 digits of your social security number, and then I have an auction, like imagine this is a fancy bottle of wine, and you get to bid on auction here. The people like me, my last 2 digits in my social security number are 99. I'd bid a higher price on this than the guys who have like 10 or 05. Just because I wrote down a high number on a paper will anchor my thinking on what goes next. So how to use this in a game? Some games, immediately when you're in the tutorial, they suggest to you, you should buy this good IAP for 50 euros or something like that. I go like, oh, that's expensive, I'll never do that. Of course, no. And I expect them to say no. Then again, I come back like, a few sessions later and suggest they buy it for 15. And I'll say, that's a good value, because my anchor was at 50. Social proof.
We're all tracking right now? I got really quiet there because it's horrendous to hear. And there's
Dude, I
not
just
much
wanna
to say.
punch him.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to punch him.
Just want
And
to.
honestly, what's crazy is he might not even really like, because he said to hold the moral stuff till the end. So it's like he might know, you know, he knows what he's doing.
Oh,
and
he
might
knows.
even like personally disagree with it. But I mean, if it's putting food on his table, if it's making him wealthy, he's not in a position to.
He's a CEO.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is the CEO. So
he's
yeah,
the CEO.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing.
Not, alright.
He's not putting food on his family. He's
He's buying a Lambo.
Yeah, he's making it rain. A man who is a CEO of a company who gives advice to game and app developers on how to make millions with their games and app. This is a multimillionaire. There's no way he's not.
Yeah. He's buying his wife a Lambo, and he's putting food on the table of his second family.
My third and fourth family are living pretty good now.
Right.
So this is, we are herd animals, we tend to do what all of the others do. You all sit quiet listening to me because that's what all of the other guys do here. So, especially when people are similar to us. This means that you should have, the socially accepted way of behaving in your game should be paying. You want to tell people, for instance, when a clan member of theirs spend IAP money, you want the whole clan to know, because then that becomes the socially acceptable way of behaving. You absolutely do not want to tell them that the majority of people in your game never spend money. That's poison. Never tell them that. Availability means that.
So that was what I was getting at with the clans that say, like, you have to give us a screenshot of your spending in the game in order to join the clan. Like, we need to see that you're actually spending money. So it became socially acceptable to demand that people spend $500 a month on Lost Ark in order to join some of the best content guilds and game content guilds.
We need to know that you're serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't imagine how corroded does a system have to get for it to become socially acceptable to demand that of somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. It's wild.
We hear a lot.
Not to mention, obviously, everyone who's getting into those guilds, they're all whales, and those whales are going to have friendly competitions between each other, because then you got to be the best whale in the guild. So it's hitting things on separate social levels.
What about?
And I've also heard of people who they're such big whales that when they max out their characters, they take the next person in the guild that, like, skill wise is as good as them, plays the game as much as them, and they will start dumping tens of thousands of dollars into their guild mates' accounts in order to get them up to where they are, so the guild remains on top. Which is another, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine someone being like, yo, I want to drop 50K into your account. And they do it, and I know that, like, I myself could use 50K. 50K would be really good for me. But my character got it, not me. Because my character is more valuable than I am.
That's so fucked up.
So fucked. Totally fucked. On so many levels.
Is the stuff we judge as...
Of course, then you sell your account, right? I mean... I only got 20 grand out of it. Oh, no.
likely to happen. This, for instance, can tie into gachas. If there are rare gachas, not every player will see them every session. That's like the definition of rare, which means that they will think that it's not likely to happen that they get one of those, which means that you should tell them about it, which means every time a clan member gets one of the rare things, you should broadcast it to all of the others, like your friend got this rare or legendary thing. Then they will judge it more likely. The right amount of choice, this is a famous jam experiment. They put up a stall in a supermarket with 20 different jams. You know, have a taste here, then you have a discount, go buy some. And then they had a control group who had only 5 jams to taste. Now, for the one with 20, a lot of people stopped by and tasted the jams, but for the one with 6, a lot more people bought, because they know that that's the best one. That's the one I want. If there are 20, there's too much choice. We just get anxious. We choose nothing. There's a bunch of data on this, that whales take longer time to convert. This is just another
Minnows, dolphins, and whales.
reminder for you to have content for a bloody long time. The core loop goes through the store. Have an example, hill climb racing, because it's so fantastically minimal and nice. You do your action, your in-game, your core game there, and you go straight into the meta game where you do the upgrades, and then back there. So the loop always goes through the meta stage where your store, where you're spending money. Labeling technique, I haven't seen this actually done in a game.
Haven't seen this actually done in a game.
But it's interesting, it should work. If we tell people they are a certain way, if we compliment them on being nice, good citizens, they are more likely to behave as nice, good citizens. So you should actually tell your players that they are generous individuals who have a taste for good art and want to support their game developers by paying you and buying IAPs.
Fucking slimy.
Very fucking slimy. Very, very fucking slimy.
That also to telling people the reason to do something makes them much more likely to actually follow through and do that. Spend because reasons. The reasons don't even have to be that good in order for this to work. And last, here are remember, there are 4 ways of progressing in games in general. You can have a skill-based game, you can have a luck-based game, you can have a game where you just progress by grinding, or you can pay to progress. Make sure that your games aren't too skill-based. I made that mistake myself. A too skill-based game, you don't get people to pay you, because there's no reason to. So make sure grinding and paying are legitimate versions of progressing in the game. Thank you, that's it.
So, like,
A few questions.
when we talk about like games like World of Warcraft, I'm gonna use that as an example because it's the one that comes to mind. We talk about loss aversion. Obviously, those developers didn't know a ton about loss aversion because you lose your power every time you get a new expansion. So it's like in that case, they were not doing so good as far as what this guy's talking about. But the idea that you're encouraged to remove skill-based gameplay from a game and you're encouraged to increase grind really pushes how the games industry is right now. Most games are, if they have a pay option, as far as pay to win, pay to become better, they're very grindy. They're insanely grindy. This applies way more to mobile games than like PC games. But the point I want to get from this is not so much like all of the nitty-gritty details that he got into, but just listening to the way this man is speaking. And if you take all of this and you apply everything he said to the brain of 80% of all 12-year-olds, it starts to paint this really disgusting picture. Just a very disgusting picture. And it's almost hard for me to like articulate, hard for me to really quantify how much research and development and psychology goes into getting kids addicted to gambling in games. So then when I read an article that says, the combined mental forces of the government that makes up the United Kingdom think that maybe games might possibly be pushing gambling style mechanics, I am dumbfounded and baffled because it's so plainly obvious from this man's own words CEO of a company who literally is this is their full-time gig, is getting money out of people in their gaming.
So
It's just not suggestive.
Right off the bat, like what they preface this whole talk with, right, was the whole like getting two competitive rich people to fight each other, you win, right? So they're immediately trying to paint themselves as like a Robin Hood figure, right? And it makes me think of the fucking the meme from the new Puss in Boots the new Puss in Boots movie with Jack Horner, where he's like, well, you can't break a pie without killing a dozen men. And it's like, but that's children. That's and people who are down on their luck, or people who have addiction problems that have no business being a whale. They're not a multi-millionaire that can afford to dump $5,000 on Clash of Clans. There's someone who's actually behind on their mortgage now because they've been spending all of their money on virtual slots and stuff like that. Like it's manipulative, it's disgusting, and the only way they could possibly redeem themselves is if, like Robin Hood, they were actually giving all of the money that they got out of their $1 million, $1 billion whales back to the public. That's the only way that I would accept any of this. Otherwise, it's just downright scum evil.
It is pure. Yeah, just no concern or thought for anything. Just completely lacking and devoid of any humanity. I want to see if he gets any questions.
No. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Oh, no, there was no questions. No notes.
Of course not. They all know why they're there. They all know.
I'll give one more in case you didn't have questions. Reciprocity is a very, very strong mechanic. If I give something to you, if you give something to me, I feel obliged to give something to you. To trigger that, however, we need 3 different criteria. The gift needs to be unexpected, personal, and significant. It can't feel like something I gave to everyone, which makes this a real challenge to do as part of the game. But I think you can incentivize your players to trigger reciprocity between each other. But that's a challenge for you guys. Thank you.
Fucking A, man. SK, 25 years old, I shamefully had spent a lot of money and made myself be late on rent on a number of occasions, which fed into my own self-loathing, but also my gambling addiction. So it really is a horrible cycle for me. I'm good now, though. That's great to hear, SK. I mean, that you're that you're broke the cycle, and that's why I want to talk about this. It's when I think about this and when I talk about it, I get very angry. I get very passionate about it because to me, it feels like something took something that is very important to me, something that's been very important for my whole life, something that I would like to build a life literally around, which is gaming. And to know that gaming and the joy of gaming and the great feeling you get from it and the escapism you get from it and the improvement to your mood. And I know for me, when I'm stressed out, anxious, if I'm having a panic attack, that sort of thing, sitting down at my computer, throwing headphones on and gaming, it helps me like nothing else does. There's just nothing else that calms me down, that kind of grounds me more. Granted, I waste a lot of time gaming, and I definitely contribute a great deal of my lack of productivity to gaming. But for someone to take that and to just turn it into a mind-altering drug and weapon. Corruption, to create addictions that can, if someone becomes addicted to gaming and their life is going downhill because they're gaming too much, like, that sucks. No one probably coerced you into doing that. You probably just did that on your own. But the gambling addiction part of it, the monetary part of it, the part of it that can make you late on rent, become so financially unstable. I mean, we know it's very well documented that financial instability is just the absolute backbone of the majority of the problems that we have societally. So to take something so good and so pure, to me anyway, as gaming, and to turn it into something that can be completely and utterly life ruining for yourself and the people around you, and to start that out at 80% of 12-year-olds today is just absolutely awful, completely and utterly awful. So this information to me is good to get out there, because I know some people, they just don't know. Some people have kids and they're not insanely tech savvy. Their kids playing on the phone or on the tablet, and they look over, they're playing a fun game. Kid wants a skin every now and then. Kid wants a loot box every now and then. They're like, yeah, sure, you've been good. As like, it's supposed to be like a reward thing. It's kind of like taking the kid to the store. They act good. Yeah, you can get a toy off the shelf. It plays into a lot of that stuff. So it seems very innocent on the face, but they don't realize that this kid is like engaging with gambling like mechanics for potentially, especially over the summer, hours and hours and hours a day. Very passionate about the topic. And I wish there was more I could do. I wish there was something else I could do. But if I've got a tiny ass platform with a tiny ass community that I can talk to about it, I'll take what I can get and I'll do what I can. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Sage? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We got something a little lighter coming up.
I think we might skip it.
You think so? You think
I think it will take more than a half hour to get through. I know it will take more than a half hour to get through.
That's fair. We can save it for next time.
I was gonna say, I don't want to keep you here until 1 a.m. That's a bit much. Not that I really want to end on like this like angry note, but you know how it is. Hey, all of you who are watching currently, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. The Lord Glarp channel is going to be rebranded into the TNR channel. Or TRP or some shit. A lot of the content's going to stay the same. The podcast is going to remain the Trade and Raid podcast, and I'm still going to be doing video game reviews and some gameplay stuff just for fun that will show up on the channel, but I'm getting away from the Lord Glarp brand a bit, and it's just going to be,
Trade and Raid.
Mike and his buddies. You know what I mean? It's trying to give it a little bit more of a group feel, a little bit more of a studio feel, a little bit more of a community feel, not just me, and all that. Not to mention the word Glarp means something completely different now in modern terms, and I don't know that I want to be the lord of gay live action role playing.
I was going to ask. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but
I mean. Do what you're going to do. Glarping is also now a slang term for ejaculation. So I'm now the lord of gay live action role playing and ejaculation. So,
not quite representative.
I'm just like, you do what you got to do. I'm not saying ejaculation's bad. I just don't know that I want to have the responsibility of being the lord of it. Yeah. So yeah, we'll come up with something else. I came up with the name Lord Glarp when Diablo 2 was first released, and I was probably like 10 or something, eight maybe. It was my necromancer's name. His name was Glarp. It was just some noise I made, and that I popped into the keyboard and hit the go button. So please like the video, and for all of you guys who do watch, I really appreciate you. Thank you for helping out the channel. Obviously, the more you like stuff, the more you watch stuff, the more you subscribe to stuff and share things in your communities, the better this channel's going to do. And the better the channel does, the more people it gets out to. And then topics like this, we did some silly, but a little, I take the gambling addiction thing pretty seriously, but we can get it out to more people. And I'd like to do that. I'd really like to do some charity streams. There's all sorts of awesome gaming for a cure things out there and stuff. Yeah, I just want to do more. I want to do more, but we gotta spread in order to really dive into some of that stuff in a more meaningful way. And I humbly request your help in doing that and achieving that. I think we can do some good stuff. We have some very awesome people in this community already. So very excited. I'm going to give myself hearts in chat. Hearts for me in chat. Hearts for us. Hearts for us in chat. I saw SK do it, so I went ahead and did it. You got anything else, Sage?
No, not tonight. I don't think. I think that's we hit some pretty heavy stuff.
We did.
Got some stuff that we're excited for in the future. Some off the wall stuff. Got some rants out a little bit.
a little bit. Got a couple out. I think I'm gonna make some kind of trade and raid private server of some sort. I've got this like weird idea about like doing a trade and raid podcast from inside of a game. I don't know what I mean by that, but I've seen some mods out there where they'll use the camera to track your face so your character's facial expressions are synced up with yours. And then I can turn
like VTuber style.
Yeah, but you're like in the game. I don't even know. I don't know. Weird thoughts. I got some weird ideas. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Trade and Raid podcast. We will be back day after tomorrow, Friday the 21st, and I am very much so looking forward to that Freaky Friday segment because it's going to be completely ridiculous. And we're going to start a nation. We're going to start a country of our own, and we're going to take care of it together as a community. That might sound a little confusing. It will make sense come Friday. Cool. All right, you guys have a good one. I'm going to go to the black screen this time and not end the stream prematurely. That's not what I'm going to do. All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.